Good afternoon, everybody. My name is John Martin, and with my partner Allison Flero here, I'd like to welcome you to Dialog Insight's webinar on geolocation. I have a bit of housekeeping to go through. We're recording today, and following the presentation, you will get a link to the recording and a copy of our PowerPoint slides. If you have questions, there's a nice chat window in the GoToWebinar screen, and we'd appreciate hearing from you. So feel free to put any in there, and we'll get to them towards the end of the presentation. As you all know, segmentation is an important part of any email marketing strategy or capabilities of any marketing platform, and Dialog Insight is no exception to that. So today we'd like to show you a few things about segmentation and how we can expand some of your options. Segmentations work so well that we'd like to share some statistics so you can see what kind of results you can expect. When you send a personalized email, personalized and segmented, you can expect to get a 14% improvement in clicks, and you can expect to get a 10% improvement on average conversions. These are two of the most popular stats that email marketers pride themselves on. Other results, including sales, will also improve. So segmentations and personalizations are very, very good tools. Today we've added some tools in Dialog Insight specifically around geolocation that we can use, that you can use to expand your segmentation options. For those of you who have already tried geolocation, I'm sure you're aware that the segmentation based on geography presents a lot of advantages. That said, geolocation also takes a little understanding and coordination. An understanding of the data, what it means, how it behaves, and basically the option to connect with other systems may also benefit your use. So we'll cover all of that. The rewards, of course, to these challenges are more than worth it, and our geolocation tools can make it simple to help you along the way. We have a couple examples from some of our retail clients. These clients both have locations across the country, and they both use geolocation in different ways. Renault Depot, of course, as you can tell from the flyer on display here, Renault Depot is a hardware store. They address many different trading areas and jurisdictions, and along with that, they've learned that the pricing in different areas needs to be different. So they use geolocation to assign pricing in the content in their newsletters. And in this way, they're able to both present an attractive appeal in each trading area, as well as maximize their profits in trading areas where they have advantages other than price. In addition, the vendors they work with appreciate this kind of knowledge because they can sometimes support a discount in some areas where they don't necessarily have to support a discount in others. Knowing your market and using geolocation tools to demonstrate that for your reasons and for the partners you work with can be a very, very powerful thing. Another example we have is a fashion store called Sephora. Sephora, like Renault Depot, has many stores across the country. In this case, they have a new opening that they wanted to do in Vancouver. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to send a store opening announcement, across the country when you have a particular trading area like Vancouver that's affected. Geolocation allows them to target the people in that trading area, as opposed to targeting their entire database. That way they can optimize their email send. Now, they can also run a reciprocal strategy for people outside of that trading area and say, here's a coupon to celebrate our store opening, in Vancouver. Please tell your local friends in Vancouver, and please present this coupon in any store across the country so that you too can take advantages of the store opening sales. Segmentation can be very, very powerful, and today's consumers, coming to expect that level of personalization. Looking at it from the other angle, if you're living in Ontario and you receive an invitation to a store opening in Vancouver, you may think that the people that sent it aren't paying a whole lot of attention to you, and you know, that message could be seen, you know, perhaps more negatively than you want it to be. So geolocation can be a very positive way to you know, present and impact your message to your contacts. There's a couple other ideas that we have for geolocation that we can let you take advantage of. I'll go through about 3 or 4 of them here. Demographic segmentation. A lot of research these days is available by postal code. So there's a lot of database information or demographic information you can buy that breaks down the demographics of a postal code. If you're in the habit of buying that kind of information, we can help you put it to use by adding that into your marketing platform and then letting you use that on a geolocation basis to target the right kind of demographics. You also have other things related to location like temperature and other location specifics, like perhaps living near a body of water or living near a sports arena, you know, that sort of thing. So with geolocation, you can take advantage of that to deliver the right message to the people that live in those, you know, sorts of areas or the contacts that are affected by that kind of local message content. Obviously, we have the promotion of local events. We touched on that with the store opening, but it extends to other things that you may wrap around your marketing programs. There was a lot of people presenting local events around the Pan Am Games in Toronto last year. So geolocation is a way of helping to target that message to the audience that's most receptive to receive it. And we have different calls to action that you can use. So we have tools in our platform for helping you with things like contests and surveys and that sort of thing. When you want to target that kind of thing based on a specific region, you know, we can help you segment, geolocation can help you segment your contact list so you send that off to the right place. So with these are just a few ideas. I'm sure we'll come up with more over time. We'd love to hear your ideas. So with that said, now that you know a little bit about the ideas, we're going to turn things over to Allison Flero. Allison is a relational content marketing expert with Dialog Insight, and she's going to show us a little bit more about what the tool looks like and how you can put it to use.
Thanks, John. So geolocation is not a separate module like survey that would need to be enabled. It's a feature that is available for all of our clients to use. So you already have access in your account if you want to start using it. Today we're going to see how to set it up and how to use it for segmentation. I think you're going to find it's fairly easy. So let's go to Configuration, Contacts. And here you have the new option for geolocation. Geolocation works with 3 types of data. You have location, whoops, excuse me. I just realized I'm in French. Sorry, so I went to Configuration, Contacts, and clicked on geolocation. So geolocation works with 3 types of data. You have location set by postal code, location set by IP address, and location set by geographical coordinates. For the majority of clients, the easiest data to get is the postal code. If you make forms, you could ask the contact to provide the postal code, and then you will eventually be able to use geolocation by postal code to segment your list. This is available for Canada or the United States. If you need to use it for other locations, you can contact your account manager. They'd be happy to help you with that. So the first thing you have to do is tell geolocation which fields to use to calculate the location of the contact. Since I have contacts in both Canada and US, I created both Canadian postal code and USA zip code. For each country, you then need to specify the value used in your database to identify the country. So in this case, I have Canada and USA. If my project actually used the values CAN for Canada or US for USA, that's what I would write in these fields instead of Canada or USA. After that, you need to select postal code and zip code for the country. Once that's set up, you can import your contacts with their postal code or create opt-in or lead generation forms to help you collect the data.
I just wanted to point out that postal code is a very reliable data point with this kind of a strategy. Most contacts that provide information either through a form or when they're signing up for your services and goods will give you an accurate postal code. This is especially true if you're doing something like a contest where there's a reasonable expectation that the contact could win. So postal code usually means your contacts want to stay in touch with you, therefore they're likely to give you, accurate data. There are other options in the geolocation tool as well. These extend to, like Allison said, IP address, and we even have one for map coordinates. But we'll touch on those as we go forward here. So Allison will show us how those work too.
That's right. We can activate one or all three options. So in my example, I have all three options active. So the system will go in order of the one that's the most precise. The option that's the most precise is geographic coordinates, but that info can be hard to obtain from contacts. So the second would be postal code, and third is IP address. You can start by activating the IP address. The IP will be collected after you send your email. So the way that works is the contact clicks and opens the email, and we collect the IP address behind the scenes in the contact's profile. And when you activate geographic coordinates, the geographic coordinates option, it adds two fields to your project. The same type of fields like first name and last name, but they'll be longitude and latitude. So if you can get that info, then you can import it into the contact's profile. Usually geographic coordinates are taken from mobile applications that use GPS to collect this info. The contact needs to have geolocation activated on their mobile, but if your form is made for mobile and the contact fills it out, you collect the info as they submit. Okay, so we have activated geolocation. So let's go into the project fields. So configuration, project. And here you can see the postal code and the zip code for USA that I created. And then down below in the geolocation section, you can see latitude and longitude that the system created when I activated geographic coordinates. Once this is in place, we can target our contacts based on location. So now let's go ahead and look at groups. So contacts groups, and I'm going to find my geolocation groups. So you can see I have two groups here. The first one is a group that targets contacts based on a 50-kilometer radius of the postal code. So let's go into the group. I'm just going to delete this and we'll start from scratch. So on the left-hand side, I just have to select geolocation and drag it over to the right. And I want to include contacts that are located at 50 kilometers or less from the following postal code. And it's Canadian right now, but I can select USA. So I'm going to put a postal code and click on Save. So you can see that it put the point on the map, and it's also showing me the 50-kilometer radius. So let's go back to groups, and now I'll show you the group for a point on the map. So same thing, let's start from scratch. And I'm going to select geolocation, drag it over to the right. And same thing, 50 kilometers or less, but this time I'm going to say from a location on a map. I just have to click on Display Map. search for a place. And then drag the cursor on the map to select the location. So here's my spot. So if I click on apply, you can see that it's given me the longitude and latitude. Now I can select more than one location if I want to also.
Yeah, once you save this, you can you can add other criteria in your group to basically look for other people within the group that you've just selected, or add people to the group you selected by targeting another area of geography or whatever. So in this way, the group geolocation is another option that you have for segmenting within your groups.
Right. The geolocation segmentation options are only postal code and a spot on the map. IP address is the third method, but it's picked up automatically when the other bits of information are not in the profile. Another aspect that can be used with geolocation is score. So let's go to score. So I go to configuration, contacts, and this time instead of clicking on geolocation, I click on score. Now score allows us to attribute points based on geolocation. So I already have some criteria here, but I also have geolocation. So in my example, I've given points to contacts who are within a 50-kilometer radius of this spot on the map. You can see I've allocated 3 points here. So a little recap of how score works is it allows us to display the points in the contact's profile in the form of stars, thumbs up, thumbs down, or a value. And the advantage of score is it can be used to personalize an email. So as an example, you can display certain content to contacts that have a thumbs up.
That's right. For a more detailed explanation of scoring, we have a previously recorded demo available in our online help. If you go to the online help in your OpenField platform and then scroll through to the bottom, you'll be able to find a number of recordings to help you with different aspects of the platform. This is basically the end of our geolocation demo. So we've hoped you've gained a few new ideas. First of all, geolocation is available to everybody, so you can go ahead and start using it and experimenting with it. We've provided you with some insight on how you can leverage information you already have, especially if you have postal code data in your database now. We've shown you some ways you can add information or collect additional information that you might need. And like we talked about with IP address, how you can calculate data automatically and start, adding geolocation and IP address as another data point you can collect from your customers. Even though it's a system field and it's, sort of behind the scenes, it can enable a lot of functionality for you. While I think about calculated data, we sometimes get asked if we can do things like generate a province or a country based on the postal code. And the answer, of course, is yes. We can do that for you using different databases like the Canada Post or other databases we talked about. Our team can help you put that together inside of your OpenField interests. So just reach out to your account director or project manager and we can help you. We can also do the same thing in forms. So if you have a contact form and a user inputs some information into it, we can use that to calculate the values for the other fields in the form. So in that case, if somebody puts in a postal code, we can automatically populate things like city or province. Please reach out to us if you have any questions. We have had a couple questions raised about IP address, so maybe I'll talk a little bit about that. IP addresses, of course, are routed by the different ISPs worldwide, and as an ESP, we have an insight into that universe that allows us to tell where a message is going based on where the IP address is going. Some ISPs route information on a province or national or even an international level, while other ISPs route things on a city or municipal level or a very narrow market. These are things that we can know and make logical assumptions on so that we can use geolocation in conjunction with IP address where, some of the additional information, may not be available. So basically, you can go ahead and start using geolocation and use it in your marketing programs. Let us know what you think and send us any questions that you might have. Thank you for joining us today. If we missed something or you need an additional explanation, please reach out directly to Allison and I or your account or project manager. We'd be very pleased to hear from you. Have a nice day.